Hi guys, in this tutorial we will learn how to use AWS step functions and Amazon SQS to design and run a serverless workflow that orchestrates a message queue-based microservice. Step functions is a serverless orchestration service that lets you easily coordinate multiple AWS services into flexible workflows that are easy to debug and easy to change. Amazon SQS is the AWS service that allows application components to communicate in the cloud. This tutorial will simulate inventory verification requests from an incoming orders in an e-commerce application as part of an ordering processing workflow. Step functions will send inventory verification requests to a queue on SQS. An AWS Lambda function will act as an inventory microservice that uses a queue to buffer requests. When it retrieves a request, it will check inventory and then return the result to step functions. When a task in step functions is configured this way, it is called a callback pattern. Callback patterns allow you to integrate asynchronous tasks in your workflow, such as inventory verification. So now we're going to create a queue using SQS. We're going to create queue, call it orders. Alright, standard. If everything is default, basic, and click create queue. Alright, the queue has been created. This URL will be very important later on. So now we're going to create a state machine using step functions. Alright, so you're going to create state machine. Alright, you're going to write your workflow in code. Right, so I'm going to write your workflow in code. Then here we're going to paste our state machine code. Okay, and that URL we saw earlier from SQS, we're going to copy it here, and then we're going to paste it here. Okay, once we have done that, we can click next. This is the diagram here for the result of the code. Right, notify failure, notify success. Now we have check inventory. Right, so now we're going to click next. Okay, and now we're going to give our state machine a name called inventory state machine, and we're going to let step functions create a new role first. Right, so now we're going to leave everything as default, and then we click create state machine. Alright, so now we're going to go to the IAM management console and create a role. You click in roles and then we click create role. So we're creating a AWS action management role, not action, sorry, access management role. Click in AWS here, and then we click in Lambda here. Click next for permissions. Alright, now we're searching for two permissions, SQS, full access, and then we have step. Alright, okay, then we have step functions, full access. Then we click next on tags. Then we use this optional part where you want to leave it out, and we click next to review. Okay, and then we give our role name called, right, inventory lambda role. Right, so once we've done that, now we click create role. Okay, and the role has been created. So now we're going to create a function auto from scratch, calling this inventory. Leave everything as default, and we're going to put a role here using an existing role, and we're going to look for the role we created. The role we created, I'm going to call it right? We have inventory lambda role, right? And then we click create function. Okay, now we're going to change the code now. Okay, all right, and now we're going to deploy the changes. All right, now we're going to go to SQS here. Then we're going to click the trigger, and then we're going to click enable. So we're enabling yes. Now we close this. All right, and then we're going to the state machine now. Okay, and then we're going to click start execution, and we can leave this here blank, right? Or we can leave it as default. Start execution, and it will do things based on the code we supplied earlier. Right? So we see this here is check inventory, notify of success. All right. So you can actually click on this here now and get. Okay, we have a check inventory here. All right. Now, just want to see if we can get the notify failure to show up. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the code for the state machine, edit state machine, and then we could actually change this code here. I'll just put some like code here. Then we're going to save. Okay, then we're just going to go back to SQS, not SQS, sorry, the step function to start execution. Start execution, and we see that we have got the failure to work. And with the failure, it's indicating to us that the URL is wrong. Right, the SQS queue does not exist exception. Right, so we can just fix that. Edit state machine, put back in the code URL here, put in the URL here, paste, and save. It's notice about the changes to your state machine may affect which resource it needs to access. And then we're just making sure that we have the correct IAM rule. So we click save anyway. Alright, and we start execution. Leave this as default, start execution, and we see it comes back to notify of success. Well, below we can actually see how the execution is starting. Alright, and succeeded. Okay, so essentially that is how you orchestrate queue-based microservices with AWS step function Amazon SQS. But before we finish, right, we must always delete what we have because we could be charged extra for that. It's a kind of policy delete when you're finished with it. So I just want to go to edit state machine. Okay, everything's fine there. Cancel this. Now we're going to inventory, actions, delete function. Let's yes, delete. Then we're going to delete this orders queue. Delete. Enter the phrase delete. Click delete. Alright. Then we have to delete the rule we created. Alright. Select the rule. Then click delete. To confirm deletion, we enter the delete in the text input field. Click delete, and it deletes the rows for us. Okay. And now we have to delete our state machine. You go to state machines here. Now we highlight the one we want to delete and click delete. Now we click delete state machine, and it says that state machine has been marked for deletion. It will be deleted when all executions are stopped. Okay, so it will be deleted soon. So that is how you orchestrate queue-based microservices with AWS step functions and Amazon SQS. Thank you.